Ebenezer Scrooge. The first of three spirits will come tonight when the clock strikes midnight. The next will come the next night at the same hour. And the third will come the following night, also at midnight. Prepare ye.
Australian actor Guy Pearce is the latest in a long line of performers to portray Ebenezer Scrooge, this time in the BBC FX version of A Christmas Carol, which airs on Christmas Day. Everyone knows how Scrooge has changed through the events in Charles Dickens' classic story. But what's less well known is how the book changed the celebration of Christmas itself. Changes that crossed the Atlantic from England and are still with us today. Imtiaz takes us to London to find out more.
The bright lights of London are turned all the way up during the holiday season, with the British capital's ancient streets crammed full of shoppers buying gifts for loved ones. But few here might realize that it was the man who lived at this house who inspired some of our best-loved holiday traditions. Charles Dickens. Yes, the legendary author of The Adventures of Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and A Christmas Carol.
Who were you then?
The holiday classic that introduced the world to Ebenezer Scrooge, a miserly old man who is visited by four ghosts on Christmas Eve.
Humbug!
And of course, his famous grumble,
Humbug.
Bah humbug.
Humbug.
But what's less well known is what inspired the author to write it.
Dickens,
British actor Simon Callow, who's performed Dickens for screen and stage, explains the tale started out as a political pamphlet highlighting the horrors of poverty in industrial-era Victorian England.
And then suddenly had this inspiration. He would write not a piece about someone who was poor, but about someone who was rich, about a terrible miser, someone who lived entirely for money.
Ebenezer Scrooge?
Ebenezer Scrooge, the very same.
Bob Cratchit.
Yes,
Most
Mr.
of us
Scrooge?
know Scrooge gives up his selfish ways.
It's Mr. Applegate, sir. He's here to speak to you about his mortgage.
God bless us, everyone.
And lavishes a delectable dinner on the family of his long-suffering employee, Bob Cratchit. But it's Dickens' vivid description of delicious food, holiday decorations, and goodwill to all men
When Dickens released
that the curator of the Dickens Museum, Louisa Price, says has become something of a blueprint for how Christmas is celebrated over 100 years after the author's death.
What's really interesting about Charles Dickens is we have to remember Christmas was not celebrated in the way that we do now.
Yeah, what Dickens did with the Carol and his subsequent Christmas writing was really establish it as a significant festival within the country and something that everyone would celebrate.
The commercial appeal of A Christmas Story was also not lost on Dickens.
One of the reasons that it's so successful is simply because it's seasonal, you know, and that was one of the reasons he wrote it. He wrote it because he wanted it to be very successful.
Although Dickens eventually tired of his association with the holiday, A Christmas Carol's message of redemption continues to be a gift that keeps on giving.
What do you think he would make of that, the enduring legacy of this?
I don't think he'd be at all surprised. He was fully aware of the excellence of his work.
So excellent, Christmas celebrations today wouldn't be the same if it weren't for Charles Dickens.
God bless us, everyone.
For CBS This Morning, Saturday, Imtiaz, London.
Guy Pearce seems like a really grisly.
I love him.
Fiendish.
I love him.
I
cannot wait to see it.
I prefer Bill Murray, but I'll give it a shot. We'll watch.
I'm watching. That's what I love, though, too. I mean, I know this is about the traditions, but so many different Scrooges. We saw the Muppet version, I Love Scrooged, with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
You have the classic.
It
It's
never, ever gets old. It never gets old.
great. Nor do the traditions.
Holiday movies.
There it is.
Keep watching.